Welcome to the final video of our Iceland and Norway trip. Today we finally reached Svalbard after being at sea for 2 days, and truly I think we were all just itching to get off the boat after being cooped up. So regardless of the weather, rain, wind, especially the wind, we were ready to go walking and exploring wherever we possibly could. So the first stop was some good coffee, so we went over to the Husky Cafe, which I've seen probably Cecilia. If you don't know about Cecilia, she is the Longyearbyen and Svalbard YouTuber that I think just about everyone knows. But she highlights places and restaurants, obviously, that she frequently visits all the time on her channel. And this was one of them, but of course we had to visit. And I think my favorite thing from this whole cafe, other than the Huskies themselves, was the fact that all of the tables had warning stickers that if the children were left unattended, they would be given espresso and a puppy. What a better idea. But following that, we finally had our caffeine fix, got a lovely chai latte to go, and started exploring around Svalbard. Truly, if we had had more time when we had booked this trip, I think we would have booked some excursions away from Longyearbyen as well, just to see more of the island of Svalbard. But we were perfectly content just getting lost, wandering around. Obviously, I had done some research, but you were confined within the, I would say, polar bear limit. Essentially, when you reach the signs that have the triangles on them, that's where you have to turn back because you have to be armed in order to leave the town limits. So, with that being said, we were not prepared for that today, so we had just wandered around. I believe we found an old coal mining shaft, which is what you are seeing here now. But either way, this spot had one of the best views over the entire town. Alright, so had a very quick break in the wind. Just want to let you guys know that we've been walking around Longyearbyen, and we're currently at, I think, an old coal mine. I think we're one of the few crazies that actually decided to walk anywhere other than the main strip, pretty much. But I guess then again, that's who I am as a person, and I want to go where everybody is not. Anyways, wind's back, so I'll talk to you guys back at the boat, hopefully. I think one of the things that actually surprised me most about Longyearbyen and Svalbard is the fact that for it being considered a village, it seems to have it all. Like, the village itself hosts a nice variety of different ethnic cuisines to eat from. They have a coffee shop, they have a mall even, and the entire island itself is just riddled with hidden gems of things to explore, namely the wildlife and the scenery. It's just a place meant for people that love to explore, to get outside, who love nature, who basically extend their home into their surroundings. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about this island, and the fact that it is so remote. Granted, we arrived here on what I would consider a mega cruise ship. So there's always the irony in that a town that probably is a lot more sleepy got practically doubled overnight by all of us coming off the cruise. So if I was to ever come here, if you have the chance, I think I would try to come not on a cruise ship. That way maybe you get a slightly more authentic feel for what it's like without the influx of cruise passengers. Because on this day, I think we ended up with a total of 2, if not maybe 3 cruise ships. I know we for sure had 2, but someone said they had seen a very small third one. So that always changes the dynamic of things. And I love local life. That's what I live for. And I love hearing people's stories and what it's like to actually live there. I think that's why I enjoy watching Cecilia so much. But that's kind of my little tirade on that. However, I can see the beauty of this town. Maybe you don't see it in these videos, but I think there's magic here, even within just the town itself. And I think if you were to be a local, the things that you would want to do and see and explore are probably practically endless. So we enjoyed the remainder of our day, within the town limits of course, just wandering around, stopping in and visit Svalbard, checking out all the local shops and eateries, art galleries, pretty much anything that you could see we had walked around and explored. But eventually we went back to the cruise ship as a nice rain cloud had started forming and eventually started downpouring. So we made it back in time, thankfully to not get terribly soaked. Got a nice little drink on the boat, watched what was the beginning of the closest thing that they were going to get to sunset at this time. And eventually that was kind of the wrap up on our day in Svalbard. Again, I think there are so many beautiful and amazing things to do around the island itself. And if you are going and have planned this farther in advance than we did, please look into all the amazing excursions. Oh my goodness, there were so many just walrus watching, I believe, and whale watching, and just nature tours and hikes. Like, there were so many hikes I would have loved to have done, but they were sold out over 7, 8, 12 months in advance in some cases. And for short-term planners like us, that's a little bit difficult. After yet another day at sea, we finally had arrived at the port of Honningsvåg, which essentially this one is just known as the gateway to the north. But we spent the day exploring the town yet again. If you haven't caught on, we were very late to book this, but also we are just very independent travelers. I really prefer to get to see local life and explore what things are like. I even like to look in the grocery stores just to see what kind of things that they're offering or what's normal for people around there. So that's what we had done. I know plenty of people went over to the North Cape, and I hope that one day we do get to see and experience that. However, quite frankly, it's just not what we were looking for at this time. And honestly, Honningsvåg was just stunning, and it, honestly, in my opinion, is probably a photographer's paradise because there's so many beautiful spots scattered amongst the town. And I also have to say, yet again, this place had a very good coffee scene and a pretty decent restaurant scene as well. And since we were in the port of Honningsvåg for, quite frankly, over 12 hours, we were there all day, all the way till 2 a.m. in the morning, I believe. We had plenty of time to just savor the day, savor this trip, and take a little afternoon siesta. We don't typically take naps or even really let ourselves rest all that much back at home, so this was a real treat before, of course, heading back out on the town for sunset, grabbing yet another coffee, and just enjoying the evening.
Not bad at all.
Last moments in, well, I'd say Norway, but it's just Honningsvåg, so little late night walk, heading back to the boat now, but it was a nice little break. Got some coffee. Christmas house is behind us. But anyways, back to the boat we go. Alright guys, what time do you think it is right now? Because you're not going to guess it's midnight. At all. We're still in Honningsvåg right now. And this midnight sun is killing us. Completely. Like, truly. The amount of times we've woken up at any hour of the night is unreal. Like, this just plays tricks on your minds 24/7. But also tell me this is not just drop dead gorgeous. I love it so much. welcome to not Tromso. Welcome to Alta. I keep thinking this is our last day of the cruise. If it was Tromso, it'd be 10 p.m. at night. We'd be waking up at 3 a.m. So, here we are. Honestly, you can't see too much, but there's the town right there, and they're dropping tenders right below us, which is why it's so loud right now. But I'm excited. It is a tender port, which means, unfortunately, you can't just get on and off as easily as you used to be able to. I feel like you have to go get tickets and stuff like that, which is fine. At least you don't have to wait in a line to actually get on the tender. That's kind of a nice trade-off, but here we are. Can you see the tender they're dropping below now? Let's see. Yep, there he goes. Honestly, I wonder if they're gonna drop like all of them. Because that's all I can see from here is they've had out 3 on this side, and I've heard some on the other side too.
Her red bubbly drink.
So this is probably the biggest main dining room that they have. And it's drop dead gorgeous. I'll try to get you sneak peeks of the others, but they're always packed. But here's your first general idea. This is what happens when you get dropped off in literal no man's land. No sidewalks, no nothing. Literally a dirt trail to even get to this. It's literally the only thing this place has going for it right now. It smells like duty. Honestly, this just reminds me of Deep Creek. Going to our favorite spot, Mojito Pool. All these little houses just tucked up. I'm like, you have to get there by boat, right? Are those the same house? If those are the same houses, it's coming in. The waterfall.
Okay, I just came close, so it's actually flowing.
Picturesque, huh? Go, buddy, go. Can I take one of you home? Look at all the cute little buildings. Look like little dots to you guys. Sorry. And with that, that concludes our Arctic Circle cruise to Iceland and Norway. We are finally on our way back home to Kentucky. And I guess back home to real life, which isn't too bad if you ask me. But I now recognize that this was probably our last international trip for quite some time, as we are probably going to be focusing very much on saving for the farm, saving for our home, and just saving for the future. So this will be a very cherished vacation for probably a very long time to come. And it was truly a magical vacation. I think our favorite day was probably our very first day in Reykjavik, and just that time pre-cruise. But all in all, we are so incredibly blessed. I love this little life of ours. And if you've made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It would mean the world. But for now, hope you have a happy and wholesome day. Bye.